Hey guys, so stressing instead of doing today's topic. And yes, I put that writer in the title because it just sounds so nice and aesthetic. But really, being that writer is about young version of being a badass writer. And so while planning this live, that was actually like such a glaring example for in light of this topic of this live, stressing instead of doing, because I was just getting so in my head about what to bring you guys instead of like really sitting with the discomfort and planning. But I feel confident in what I'm bringing you today. And so, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is how sometimes you may swing too hard into like your soft energy, and because the writing process, you don't really have a visual progress or something like that. And so you might swing too hard into not actively tracking it, and and just hoping it happens someday. Um but you also don't want to drag too much. But yeah, that's really a balance we have to watch out for, to not swing too hard into one direction or the other. Because if we swing too hard in the direction that we're not really tracking anything and we're being super spontaneous with the writing sessions and the word counts and yeah, let me slow down, guys. This is just my second time live, so it's really nerve-wracking. um but yeah, you don't want to swing too hard in that direction, because then you will just feel like you're not moving forward and there's no progress to look back on. And I guess that also speaks to the importance of like keeping some sort of record, even if it's just how you feel with the progress in writing sessions, and how you feel as you hit the word count goals, because then it becomes something you can look back on. And yeah, since writing isn't really a visual kind of progress thing, it will feel really nice to have that because it's like tangible. And so you don't want to swing too hard in the direction that you just don't track anything. Because if you start feeling like there is no progress and nothing tangible you can see, then you'll just start becoming pretty unmotivated, and then shaming yourself for not being able to have regular writing sessions, but you also don't want to make like your whole process be something so rigid that it just overhauls your entire lifestyle and you feel like you lose all of your sense of self. Oh, and the topic we all wonder about so much. Getting those surges of inspiration when you're about to sleep. Um, so for myself, I just seize the moment and do it in that moment because there is really no feeling. There is really no feeling like seizing the inspiration you get in that moment. And I've accepted it means sometimes losing like 20 minutes of sleep or so, just so you can really capture that inspiration. But I read a take the other day that's really, it sounds really nice and self loving. It said something like it was about trusting yourself and trusting that the ideas in those surges of inspiration and insights you get will they're stored differently by your brain and kind of refined. So you get those insights, but even better, even more impactful. So that's really nice. You can trust yourself in that way. I mean, it's really up to you and to what works with your writing style. And you also have to recognize that if you do embrace it and lose sleep to get that insight, that idea, like it won't all be useful the next day. It won't all make perfect sense the next day. And you kind of need to embrace that if you wanna go that route. But I mean, it doesn't really have to be one or the other. Cause I don't know, that's a bit like all or nothing mindset. And I believe that we would all benefit from letting go, of letting go of a mindset like that. So yeah, guys, I have some practical strategies to share with you. So as we already talked about, making sure that your writing process doesn't really overhaul your entire lifestyle. And that goes for your word count too, because like you need to be realistic with yourself. We like how much sessions can get, but also if you wanna write in pockets of time you find during the day, um, or if you really wanna just sit down and spend the next hour writing, and that's a balance that takes a while to find for yourself because it doesn't really work to like emulate all the all the writing processes of the big authors that you see out there, because like I mean they got where they are by embracing so much who they are as a writer. So it's a bit far-fetched to think that you will get exactly to the same place that they did without without embracing yourself in that same way. So yeah, I mean, figure out what you like. If you like to sit down and I mean to sit down and write, if you work best with writing in the pockets of time you can find, like standing on a in a line or something, and then just integrate that more, like without shaming yourself, whether that's good enough or you could be doing more. Because at the end of the day, what matters is finishing your work and, and finishing your book. So just, yeah, embrace your base. Okay, guys, the next strategy: plan what you'll write before starting your session. So this tip, I can take all the credit for it. I learned it in the writing community I was in, and I guess that's also why getting out there and and building relationships with other writers. Well, I I did that literally. I'm not saying you all need to do that literally, but yeah, I did that literally. My boyfriend is a writer, and so yeah, writing communities. So yeah, just getting yourself out there. I mean, I know that those spaces sometimes are low key judgmental or something icky like that. But as you can see, you also get a lot of golden nuggets like that, like planning before you go into a session. Or like, I know that you guys love your book more than anyone. Like, of course, you're writing it. And and that you probably feel like you already know it so intimately, but going into a session refreshing yourself on what happened in a previous chapter, um, if you don't write chronologically, then refresh yourself on your goal for showing that scene to the readers, and your goal in having your characters go through that, because that's a little bit how you unlock that flowy state we all want when in a writing session. And yeah, oh also a really good one. And yes, I'm reading off of my notes. Um, Maybe you guys expected me to just know all of these, but I I actually love it. Um, Letting you guys see that, like, I'm human just like you, and not an expert guru that sits here and drowns you with tips. So a really good one is getting ahead and taking the friction out of the process of actually sitting down to write. So, like, keeping your desk clean, like the space when you write, so you can really just sit down and write. Um, or like just a cue for your brain, like um, like lighting the exact same scent every time, the exact same writing playlist every time, so that whenever you play it, your brain will just go into writing mode, and and that's a small way you can reduce friction for yourself, and like that will just make the writing process so much nicer. And obviously find like other little ways in your environment in which you can reduce that friction. Um, because like if you just make it so seamless for you to be consistent with your writing sessions, like they will just happen so much more naturally, and without shaming yourself into those sessions, um needing to spend like 15 minutes just priming your brain for it. Yeah, sorry guys. I hope you're not too bored. But just as I said, this is only my second time live, so it's still a little bit nerve wracking. So I I might, maybe I might using looking at my notes as a way to just kind of zone out a little bit. So yeah, I can't believe I was forgetting to like connect all of what I just said to the actual topic of this life. But the whole point is really just not stressing about all of those things, like stressing about not having the perfect writing routine, or stressing about losing sleep to get that idea down, so much so that you end up not really doing either of them. And yeah, I mean, just don't stress instead of actually doing the thing, cause because you will feel so much better when you just do the thing, not just because you're actually doing it, but also because you will stop like shaming yourself that you should be writing, but you're not. And so, yeah, guys, that's what I have for you today. And I really hope you liked sitting here with me. Um, I also want to say that anyone is free to join these live events and ask questions in the chat, or just, hang out and have fun while we talk about the actual topic. And, and yeah, that's all, guys. And thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with me. And yeah, this is a weekly thing, and it's always at 4 o'clock from Portugal and British Summer Time, and 11 a.m. EST. So, yeah, mark it in your calendar and join next week. Thank you so much, guys, and bye.